It's great for me to learn. Obviously, facing the.
Hey guys, it's Sorana and Anna here. We just won the.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to come on here and thank every single one of you for your support, taking the time.
When you step onto a professional tennis court, you expect a duel. One opponent, one net, one ball. You prepare for the pressure, the nerves, the adrenaline, the endless rallies that test your lungs and your legs. You expect to battle exhaustion, self-doubt, and the unforgiving scoreboard. But imagine this. Instead of one opponent, you face 10,000. 10,000 voices screaming, whistling, chanting, and roaring, not to celebrate tennis, but to tear you apart, shatter your rhythm, and force you to collapse under the weight of chaos. Welcome to one of the most shocking, controversial, and emotionally explosive matches in recent WTA history. Welcome back to Tennis Pulp, the place where the real stories of tennis unfold. Buckle up, because today we dive into a scandal that ignited fury across the tennis world, fractured opinions, and forever changed the atmosphere of a major WTA 1000 tournament. This is the unbelievable story of Sorana Cîrstea, Alex Eala, and the night Dubai descended into absolute disorder. Let's set the stage, because context is everything. The Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships is not just another tournament. It is one of the crown jewels of the WTA calendar, a WTA 1000 event, second only to the Grand Slams in prestige. Played at the iconic Aviation Club, it has hosted legends, champions, and some of the most memorable battles in women's tennis history. 16 of the world's top 20 players were in attendance. The stakes were enormous. Ranking points, prize money, endorsement exposure, and personal pride were all on the line. Even before the first ball was struck, the tension crackled through the desert air. On one side of the net stood Sorana Cîrstea, a seasoned Romanian veteran ranked 32 in the world. At 32 years old, she was enjoying a remarkable resurgence. Just 2 weeks earlier, she had lifted the trophy at the Transylvania Open, winning 7 consecutive matches without dropping a single set. 7 straight wins. Dominant, clinical, fearless. She arrived in Dubai brimming with confidence, riding the momentum of some of the best tennis of her career. This was not a player fading into retirement. This was a competitor rediscovering her peak. Across the net stood Alex Eala, the 20-year-old sensation from the Philippines. Ranked 47th, she had already captured 3 top 10 wins, stunned elite opponents, and ignited a global fan movement unlike anything women's tennis had seen in years. She was fast, fearless, and relentless. But more than that, she represented something far greater than rankings or trophies. To millions of Filipinos around the world, she was hope, pride, and history in motion. Dubai is home to over 700,000 Filipinos, nearly 20% of the city's population. For decades, this community had never truly had a tennis hero of their own. Then came Ella. She wasn't just a player, she was a symbol, a pioneer, the first Filipino woman to reach the later rounds of a WTA 1000 tournament. And when she walked onto the court, she didn't come alone. She brought an army. The stadium transformed. Filipino flags waved in every direction. Homemade signs covered the stands. Chants echoed across the court. It no longer felt like a tennis arena. It felt like a World Cup stadium, vibrating with raw emotion. For Ella, it was fuel. For Cîrstea, it was a psychological storm. From the first serve, the atmosphere crossed into unfamiliar territory. Each time Cîrstea tossed the ball to serve, the noise erupted. Whistles, screams, chants. Sharp shouts timed precisely to disrupt her motion. The umpire repeatedly pleaded for silence, but the appeals were swallowed by the roar. The crowd erupted in celebration when Cîrstea missed first serves. Unforced errors were met with cheers, not sympathy. Every small mistake was magnified, weaponized by the stands. Tennis has long been a sport built on silence. The brief stillness before a serve, the hushed tension during rallies, the respectful applause after points. That unspoken contract between players and spectators was being shredded in real time. And yet, amid the chaos, Alex Eala delivered a stunning performance. Down 5-4 in the first set and staring at potential disaster, she refused to break. She dug deep, attacked relentlessly, and rattled off 3 straight games to steal the set 7-5. The second set was a demolition. Ella raced to a 4-0 lead, overwhelming Cîrstea with pace, precision, and fearless shot-making. The match ended swiftly, but the story was only beginning, because the real drama unfolded after the final point. Cîrstea walked off the court visibly shaken. Her eyes searched the umpire. Her shoulders sagged. Her body language spoke volumes. This wasn't the frustration of a routine loss. This was emotional devastation. And soon, the magnitude of that devastation became clear. Reports emerged that this season would likely be Cirstea's last. After more than 2 decades on tour, she had planned to retire following 2026. This wasn't just another defeat. It was one of the final chapters of a lifelong journey, a journey she hoped to conclude on her own terms. In the post-match press conference, her coach, Alberto Costa, delivered words that sent shockwaves through the tennis world. She wasn't playing one opponent, he said. She was playing 10,000. The statement exploded across social media. Fans, players, and analysts clashed fiercely. Was it an exaggeration or a painful truth? For many purists, it was the latter. Tennis, they argued, is fundamentally a one-on-one sport. The moment crowd interference begins to shape outcomes, the integrity of competition is compromised. They pointed to the rulebook, which clearly mandates silence during points and forbids celebration of opponents' errors. These rules exist to protect fairness, focus, and mental balance. Yet enforcement has been inconsistent, leaving players vulnerable. But the controversy deepened when financial consequences surfaced. In professional tennis, prize money alone rarely guarantees stability, especially for players outside the top 10. Sponsorships are lifelines. They pay for training, travel, coaching, and long-term security. And those deals hinge on image, composure, and marketability. In the days following the match, reports revealed that Cirstea had lost a major endorsement deal that was in the final stages of negotiation. Executives watching the broadcast reportedly saw not just a loss, but visible distress, frustration, and unraveling under pressure. To corporate decision-makers, the circumstances didn't matter. The optics did. In one phone call, a potentially career-defining contract vanished, and then came the moment that broke the internet. "Who will reimburse me for these losses?" Cirstea asked tearfully. That single sentence became the emotional centerpiece of the entire controversy. Was it fair that crowd behavior could directly lead to quantifiable financial damage? Who bears responsibility when chaos in the stands alters careers? The WTA? Tournament organizers? Fans themselves? The debate raged. Traditionalists demanded immediate reforms, stricter enforcement of crowd silence, point penalties for disruptions, removal of repeat offenders, and accountability for tournament officials. Former players rallied behind Cirstea, warning that unchecked crowd chaos threatens the sport's very foundation. Yet, on the other side stood Alex Eala and her supporters. When asked directly if the crowd had fueled her victory, Eala responded with remarkable composure. She thanked her fans for their passion, but firmly rejected the notion that her success depended on them. She spoke of countless matches played in near-empty stadiums, of lonely training sessions since age 4, of years of sacrifice, discipline, and relentless work. "I deserve this," she said calmly. "I am not a product of noise. I am the product of effort." Her words resonated deeply. They weren't defensive. They were confident. They reminded the world that while atmosphere can influence momentum, greatness is forged in solitude. And Eala proved it again in the next round. Facing world number 4 Coco Gauff, she stepped back into a roaring stadium. The noise returned, the flags waved, the chants thundered. Yet, this time, Eala fell short. Gauff weathered the storm and advanced. The result added complexity to the narrative. If crowd power were decisive, could Eala have lost? This is where the story becomes truly fascinating. The rise of Alex Eala is not a fleeting phenomenon. The Filipino diaspora is vast, global, and fiercely loyal. Wherever Eala plays, they will follow. Their presence is only going to grow. The WTA now faces a defining challenge: how to embrace a new generation of passionate fans without sacrificing the core principles of fairness and sportsmanship. Because this isn't just about one match, it's about the future of tennis. For Eala, Dubai marked another step towards stardom: a quarterfinal appearance, a surge in ranking points, increased prize money, global headlines. She now sits on the brink of the top 40, armed with victories over elite players and the belief that she belongs at the very top. Yet challenges loom. Her clay court record remains fragile. With the European clay season approaching, questions arise about adaptability, endurance, and tactical evolution. Stardom brings scrutiny. Every weakness becomes a headline, every stumble, a crisis. For Cirstea, the loss was devastating, but her story is far from over. She is a fighter, a survivor, a warrior forged through 2 decades of relentless competition. And warriors do not fade quietly. This controversy has introduced her to millions who had never seen her play. Whether this moment becomes redemption or heartbreak remains one of the most compelling storylines of the season. And when these two meet again, as the WTA schedule inevitably ensures, it will be one of the most anticipated matches of the year. The stadium will be packed, security will be tight, cameras will capture every glance, every sigh, every flicker of emotion. The world will watch, holding its breath, waiting to see whether lessons have been learned. Will the crowd find balance between passion and respect? Will Cirstea silence the storm and reclaim her fire? Will Eala thrive amid the pressure of global expectation? This is the new era of women's tennis. Louder, messier, more dramatic, and undeniably thrilling. Before we wrap up, we want to hear from you. Drop your most honest opinions in the comments. Was Sarah Cirstea unfairly targeted, robbed of focus, confidence, and potentially millions? Or is Alexandra Eala's rise exactly what tennis needs? A fresh wave of passion, energy, and global excitement. Should the WTA step in with stricter crowd control? Or must players adapt to increasingly intense atmospheres? Let us know what you think. If you loved this deep dive into one of the most explosive controversies in modern tennis, smash that like button and subscribe to Tennis Pulp for more stories that go beyond the scoreboard. Turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown, an update, or an exclusive insight from the world of professional tennis. This is Tennis Pulp, where the real game happens far beyond the baseline, and we'll see you in the next one.